We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity.
We know the air is unfit to breathe and our food is unfit to eat. As if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy.
Silence! The great and powerful Oz knows why you have come.
You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
You have meddled with the primal forces of nature.
Don't give yourselves to brutes, men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, or what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts.
With Jason Bermas.
And who loves you? And who do you love?
Good morning, everybody. I am Jason Bermas. This is Reality Rants on redvoicemedia.com. By the way, the second hour, it is Wednesday, will exclusively be over at Red Voice Media or RVM Rumble.com. You're not going to want to miss it. We've got 3 separate interviews, one with Nathaniel Pavlovsky, who is the son of the pastor Arturo, who was a driving force in standing up against tyranny in Canada. Really probably the most impressive person I met over at the Reawaken America tour in Vegas. Spent a lot of time with him, even behind the scenes. Unfortunately, as you're going to see in these videos, I was dripping sweat. And there are a few pretty hard cuts. And that one, although there are a couple of interspersed second or third shots, because of the heat, the video just didn't come out right on 2 of the feeds. So that's like the one that's not edited a whole lot. It also has his speech in front of the EU and the video that they played at the EU in it. Really a must-watch. And then we have John Richardson, whose father was the pioneer behind apricot seeds and Laetrile in the treatment of cancer. That's about as far as I'm going to take that, as there are massive restrictions on what you can talk about via YouTube on that. And then the author of Cancer-Free Food. So that was a really interesting conversation. You're not going to want to miss it. Especially if you have been a premium member and you've seen the other 6 interviews we put up, 4 premium in 2 packages. This is yet another one of those packages that's going to go out to everybody. And there's still another interview that I did with a gentleman who's working on a book connecting BlackRock and the World Economic Forum on a level that people really have not discussed before. That was a great conversation. Perhaps we'll play some of that tomorrow. If not, it could very well be one of the premiums for this upcoming weekend for all of you that have decided to support the broadcast, and I want to thank you for that. So, lead story today, you're probably going to see it everywhere. Normally, I don't do the story that you're going to see everywhere. However, this is just yet another example about how our education system is completely captured, and these people that are supposed to be teaching our children are, I mean, it's almost beyond words how ignorant many of them are, how uneducated any of them are, how low IQ many of them are. I mean, I always hated it, and I still hate it today, when people prop teachers up like some kind of superhero. They're not. Sorry. I know a lot of teachers, and I mean a lot of teachers in their personal life. Some of them are great people. Absolutely. They're friends of mine. That's how I know them so well. Some of them are extremely mediocre or lower and really have no business in a classroom at all. And look, we talk about our education system and how teachers aren't paid enough. For what? For the 180 days you work? And that's not to shit on good teachers and not say that they don't deserve a certain amount of time off. But just like in any group, there will be good ones and there will be bad ones. There will be average ones. There will be above average ones. There will be those that relate to some and not all. I mean, it's always relating to some and not all. That's just the way it is. But this person just shows the utter ignorance of the entire education system. This person confidently thought that the Gadsden flag had something to do with slavery and racism, and that's what its roots are in. No. 100% not. Not even close. Actually comes out of the Navy. We're going to play the clip showing you that. But that's where we're at. Anything that challenges the establishment, anything that's put on a Southern Poverty Law Center flyer, or that's been condemned by Homeland Security via fusion centers for years, it's just racist. It's all racist. The Gadsden flag is about individual freedom and don't tread on me. Don't take away my personal rights. Couldn't have more of an opposite meaning than slavery. It's the opposite of slavery. It's not rooted in slavery at all, but we live in the post-truth world with a bunch of very unexceptional people starting to run the show. So we're going to play the local news clip. It's a really, really short one. And then we're going to play a PBS clip, which, although it gives the correct definition of the Gadsden flag, actually tries to equate it with flat earth. So even when PBS is giving you the actual meaning of the Gadsden flag, they want to throw something in there that is absurd and quote-unquote conspiratorial. Why? Because they want to discredit its message. They want to discredit the message of don't tread on me. They want to discredit the message of individual responsibility and freedom. They want to discredit the message we live in a constitutional republic. That's the truth of the matter, unfortunately. That's the post-truth world that we live in. Okay? So without further ado, let's play this clip. But again, Colorado elementary school, you just can't make this stuff. I mean, good for Jared Polis slamming it being linked to slavery. But there you go. You know, he's got the Dogecoin, the Shiba Inu thing, and there's a Gadsden flag patch on there. You see it? Oh boy. And this woman who's, I almost feel bad for her. I almost feel bad for her because you think to yourself, wow, how did you get into this position of authority being so misinformed? Oh, that's right. The authoritative sources are really meant to be misinformed. Excuse me. So let's play this clip. Let's do it. Let's do it up.
Video coming out of Colorado Springs that's getting national attention this morning and sparking outrage amongst parents and some community members.
A lot of people talking about this. The user who posted it, Connor Boyack, saying this boy was kicked out of class at the Vanguard School on Monday down in the Springs for having a Gadsden flag patch. Now, you're probably familiar with it once you see it here. That is the famous patch of the coiled snake with the word "Don't tread on me" underneath it. In the video, you can hear a representative from the school claiming that the Gadsden flag has origins with slavery and that the patch is against district policy. The district is claiming that the story is incomplete and that the patch was part of a half dozen other patches showing semi-automatic weapons, The student was able to return to class after removing the patches with weapons, but the district did not specify if the Gadsden flag was removed or not. Of course, the Gadsden flag from the American Revolution.
Yeah, American Revolution. And look, let's stop playing around. Let's stop being totally ignorant. Those patches are military patches, and you can sit there and talk about how it was taken out of context or no. Those are military patches. They have absolutely nothing to do. They didn't like the word revolution. They didn't like the word based. They don't like the fact that they, and I don't like to do the red pill thing either. I'm glad that someone actually decided to tape this, by the way. That's a good thing. We need more of that. Let's see if we can play the actual incident. We're going to have to go to Twitter to play it. Is that what we're going to do? There we go.
They do not want the flag. The reason we do not want the flag displayed is due to its origins with slavery and...
No, there's nothing. There's no origin of slavery. That's not real. This is the revolution. Listen again.
Is due to its origins with slavery and slave trade. That is what was. That's the reasoning behind them. No,
the Gadsden flag.
The "Don't Tread on Me."
Okay. Which is the Gadsden flag. Okay.
I don't really know what the flag's called, and I'm completely ignorant, but I'm just going to say it has something to do with slavery. Look at this poor kid. And he's got the button-up shirt on, the whole nine. Catch me in a button-up shirt when I'm that age. It better be picture day.
Okay, so he's what's going to happen if he doesn't take it off?
He is able to go. I was actually just telling him, I was upset that he was missing so much school. I'm like, so I asked if, can he just take his stuff out of his bag and go back to class? I just want him to go back to class. The bag can't go back. It's got a patch on it because we can't have that in and around other kids. So that's what I was trying, and then he said,
can't have a message of standing up to an authoritarian, unelected, unaccountable government because we say it has something to do with slavery, even though it doesn't.
You were close, so I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with slavery. That's the Revolutionary War patch that was displayed when they were fighting the British. That's the revolution. Maybe you're thinking of the Confederate Confederate flag.
Okay, I am just here to enforce. No, I am here to enforce the policy that was provided.
What policy? Enforce what policy, lady? It doesn't have anything to do with slavery. Look at her dumb smile. This is the type of person you're dealing with now that's supposed to be an authority. You're dealing with people that don't know history, that are completely and totally unimpressive in everything they do. Everything this woman does is completely and totally unimpressive. That's why she's in the position of power she's in over children.
By the district, and definitely you have every right to not agree with it.
Because the ACLU says that he's allowed to wear that. If you go on their website, it's says in big letters.
All I'm saying is that
unless there's a ban on patches, period. Like if you said there's no patches allowed at the school, you cannot display what you think or anything like that, or what cheer or anything like that. I think it's one-sided, because you allow some patches but not other patches.
Kids have patches other names and the American flag and backpacks.
Yeah. That was
Look at the look on her face. You're challenging me? You're challenging my authority? How dare you? That's what you got. You got a grown-up Greta Thunberg. She's a grown-up Greta. That's it. How dare you? No clue whatsoever about our history. No clue whatsoever about the real world. This is why we have to continually highlight this stuff. And again, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. I'm going to play the rest of this clip. And then we're going to play PBS telling you what the Gadsden flag is, but at the same time trying to discredit it and put it into the arena of flat earth. Okay? That's what's going on.
We interrupt today's programming to bring unfortunate news. Biden's dangerous plan for a digital dollar is underway. Don't be fooled. It won't benefit you. So take action now. The Federal Reserve's phased deployment of FedNow began on July 1st, 2023. Be prepared. This may catch many off guard and put your hard-earned assets in jeopardy. But here's the good news. There's a simple legal tax loophole to opt out of the digital dollar. Speak to someone at American Alternative Assets for a free wealth protection guide and discover how to safeguard your wealth with gold and silver IRAs against a failing dollar and volatile markets. Dial 833, the number 2 USA Gold. Yes, call now, 833-287-2465. This invaluable guide provides precise steps to transfer your IRA or 401k into precious metals without any tax consequences. Don't let Biden force you into using the government's new digital dollar. Call 833, the number 2 USA Gold. Yes, call now, 833-287-2465. Act swiftly, 833-287-2465.
And we are back. We're going to finish up this clip with the annoyed, ignorant woman that is demanding the "Don't Tread on Me" patch come off this kid's backpack because she says it's something to do with slavery. Nothing to do with slavery. Nothing to do with slavery. Nothing to do with slavery. Doesn't make it. It's the policy. It's the policy.
Well, during the revolution, but yeah, I just don't understand that at all.
So what I can do is
And if you go onto the ACLU's website, yeah, let's talk to someone.
I can have you speak to Jeff Yoakum again. Okay. And then he can refer you to our person at the district. Okay. Because, like I said, we're following district policy, is what we're doing.
No, you're not.
The last thing I want is him out of class.
Yeah, I know.
That's
you
all.
he takes his classes seriously. Yes. He studies. He wants to get straight A's. He did that. He made honor roll when he was here before. Yep. He intends to do that again right now, but it's hard because he keeps missing class for this. So
I understand that.
Yeah. And we teach him to always stick up for your beliefs. And I mean, you're going over the revolution for 7th grade. I mean, the founding fathers stood up for what they believed in against unjust laws. This is unjust.
Okay. Like I said, we're upholding a policy that was provided to us, which we have.
I mean, this is the same moronic argument for COVID 1984. We're just doing what we're told. We do what we're told. It's the policy of the district. Doesn't matter. It's not based in reality. That flag is not safe and effective. All right. So let's go to PBS. And again, the gag is that they're going to tell you really what the Gadsden flag is all about, but they're going to equate it with a gentleman who happens to also have a flat earth flag. So they're going to try to associate the belief again that you're an individual, sovereign human being with rights, and you shouldn't be treaded upon, with flat earth. Flat earth, PBS.
I like flags. I'm fascinated by flags. I have a lot of flags.
This is a 13-star flag from the 18th century.
This is the house flag of the White Star Line, which is the line that owned the Titanic. And this is the flag of the Flat Earth Research Society. This is the flag of Juneteenth. That's when the U.S. Army issued a proclamation that slavery had been abolished. And this, of course, is the Gadsden flag, which was the standard of the Continental Navy at the beginning of the Revolution, and was also presented by Mr. Gadsden to the South Carolina Assembly. The Gadsden flag was created during the Revolutionary War. In those days, the flag was a symbol of the nation that was flown aboard ships. You had to fly a flag or else you were a pirate. So when we decided to revolt against the British, we commissioned ships to go to sea to fight them. We had to have a symbol.
So wait a minute. I thought that this was rooted in slavery, not the Revolutionary War like that parent said. You mean the parent knew more than the school authority? That's just so bizarre.
After the Boston Tea Party, the British decide they're going to blockade Boston Harbor. So this is the beginning of real hostilities.
Shots have been fired. And people are coming together now to say, okay, what do we do? You know, how do we respond? There is no going back.
Well, the Continental Congress was an assembly made up of representatives from the 13 colonies, and it was effectively the government of the United States. The part that interests us, of course, is that they decided in October of 1775 that they were going to need a navy.
They create a navy in order to protect trade, and that navy has as its symbol the rattlesnake.
The first Marines land with this flag in a raid on the Bahamas in February. It is seen with the South Carolina Navy also. It seems to express our feelings.
Well, I mean, the Navy must be racist, right? The Navy must be rooted in slavery, and it has a history of slavery, right? You don't think that PBS, if they could have slid something in here, bigoted and racist, they would have put in there? I mean, I suppose that, you know, there were some, I guess, racial undertones with the fact that you not only had the Flat Earth Society deal, but you also had the Juneteenth flag. And I bet you that guy showed him like 24 flags, maybe even more. Hey, go through the stack, buddy. Go through the stack.
Colonel Gadsden presented to the Congress an elegant standard, such as to be used by the Commander-in-Chief of the American Navy, being a yellow field with a lively representation of a rattlesnake in the middle, in the attitude of going to strike, and these words underneath, "Don't tread on me." Those are the definitive words of what we know about the Gadsden flag. This is a way to fire people up and get them on board for the cause.
So there it is. The Gadsden flag. How about that, guys? Not as racist as they wanted you to make it out to be. They sure wanted it to be racist, huh? I mean, that teacher says it's racist. It came down from the district. It's our policy. I'm sorry, but he's gonna have to go. It's our policy. In other everything is crumbling in America news, Univision TV news crew is robbed at gunpoint in Chicago while filming stories about spike in robberies. The bizarre incident took place early Monday morning around 4:30 a.m. in a Weir Park neighborhood at 1200 block of North Milwaukee Avenue. I mean, I wonder. See, this is that's Univision. This is a CBS clip, so I doubt that they're going to show the incident. But let's just play the CBS clip so people can understand how crazy things have gotten in cities like Chicago, New York, L.A., San Francisco, Philadelphia.
Several people robbed, others carjacked overnight, spanning across Chicago's neighborhoods.
At least 7 incidents took place in just an hour. CBS 2's Mulo Adigwe is in Wicker Park, where one of the carjackings happened.
We are along North Milwaukee Avenue this morning. This is where a woman told Chicago police that 3 guys carjacked her around 10:15 last night. She said at least one of them was armed. She also told police they arrived in a blue sedan, but eventually took off in her white SUV. Shortly after that carjacking, Chicago police say suspects in a white SUV robbed 2 women here in the West Loop. They even kicked one of the women when she refused to give up her belongings. Police say she was taken to the hospital in good condition. But after that robbery, there was another carjacking in Westtown and a robbery in Belmont Cragen. But the night of crime actually started around 9:45 with 3 robberies in Wicker Park and Bucktown, all involving suspects in a blue sedan. As of this morning, Chicago police are not saying if those robberies and carjackings are connected or if they involve the same suspects. They simply tell us they're still investigating.
We don't know, but I'll tell you what, if we catch them, we're going to release them, because that's the way the system works these days. The old catch and release. I mean, just think about what we just watched right there. Just a crime wave which looks like the same exact people, and we can't do anything about it. Just can't figure it out. Can't find them. Can't stop the crime wave while it's happening. Can't get them after the fact. Can't tell the media anything. Nothing. A TV news crew from Spanish language Univision filming stories on the spike in robberies in Chicago were robbed at gunpoint, but miraculously no one was injured. Sorry about that. The bizarre incident took place early Monday morning around 4:30 in Wicker Park neighborhood at 1200 block of North Milwaukee Avenue, where a reporter and a photographer were on the street to shoot a live shot before 5 a.m. 3 armed men wearing ski masks pulled up in a black SUV and a gray sedan and first demanded money from the pair before stealing 2 bags of equipment, their camera, and the photographer's backpack before fleeing. According to the station, and Raza Siddiqui, president of the National Association of Broadcast Employees and Technicians, Local 41, the Chicago Sun-Times reported, the reporter, who did not want to reveal his identity, shared that the only item of value stolen was the video camera and called the ordeal total irony, as per Book Club Chicago. Oh, it is total irony. I mean, this would fit right into a 90s Alanis Morissette single. You know? On the street, getting robbed by the same people we report on. Isn't it ironic? Terrible song. I'm not really a terrible song. Kind of a fun song. A lot of people point out that song, the irony is that it's not really talking about things that are ironic. 10,000 spoons when all you need is a knife. Oh, the reporter who did not want to reveal his identity shared, yes, we read that. As a journalist, you never want to be the story, right? You're reporting on the story, but you never think that you can become the story, he said in part. That's not why we do this. Again, this is it. This is the post-truth world. This is how things happen. And the FBI, who still poses as the savior all the time, is now out there saying they've taken down the Quack Bot hacking network. I don't know much about it. I don't know much about their ransomware. I do know that the FBI occasionally does take down networks of cyber criminals that are, in fact, real. But at the same time, Chris Wray, who should not have a job and should actually be, I don't know, in prison, is telling us all about it.
I'm Chris Wray, director of the FBI. I'm announcing today an FBI-led worldwide operation that crippled one of the longest-running botnets ever seen. The FBI neutralized this far-reaching criminal supply chain, cutting it off at the knees. The victims ranged from financial institutions on the East Coast to a critical infrastructure government contractor in the Midwest to a medical device manufacturer on the West Coast. 2 years ago, ransomware actors used this service to attack a publishing company and forced the company to pay $4.9 million in ransom.
Look how unimpressive. I mean, we're talking about a lot of unimpressive people here today. Chris Wray, about as unimpressive as it gets. About as unimpressive as it gets. Look at that. Does he look like he knows this stuff, or is he reading off a prompter? Barely reading off a prompter. Is he stiff? I mean, again, back in the day, at least they'd put competent people out in front of you. No, certainly not.
And last year, cyber crooks used this botnet to steal gigabytes of private information from a healthcare provider and later leaked that information on the dark web. This botnet provided cyber criminals like these with a command and control infrastructure consisting of hundreds of thousands of computers used to carry out attacks against individuals and businesses all around the globe.
I mean, Chris Wray should be in jail. That's really where he should be. In fact, when we come back from this break, we're going to play a clip of Donald Trump talking to Glenn Beck, saying that he has to lock these people up because they're trying to lock him up. I've got a lot to say about that. A lot to say about it. So, let's do another word from our sponsor, and we'll be back after this.
When I invented MyPillow, my passion was to help each and every one of you. And 20 years later, all of your support is what keeps us going. Because of you, we've been able to create thousands of USA jobs and help millions get the best sleep ever. To thank you, my employees and I are bringing you a limited edition MyPillow. The Giza Elegance MyPillow is made with my patented adjustable fill, the most amazing cotton, and a 2-inch pipe gusset. It has 4 custom loft levels, machine washable and dryable, and you get my 60-day money-back guarantee and 10-year warranty.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get your limited edition 20th anniversary MyPillow queen size. Retails for $69.98, now only $19.98. That's right, get a queen size MyPillow for only $19.98.
From all of us here at MyPillow,
All right, we're going to go to this Beck clip, and this is Beck talking to Trump. And here's the deal. You know, so many of you out there on that Trump train, lock her up, and yet no, not going to do it. Didn't happen. And then you look, you know, yesterday we played you the Ray McGovern breakdown of how from the get-go they were going after Trump, from the get-go. And what, he didn't realize this was continuing on with 2 separate types of impeachment? He still didn't try to put anybody in jail. He still didn't release the JFK documents. He still failed on so much. So, look, I believe they're putting him in prison. I don't even believe he has a path to the nomination for the Republican presidency. I really don't. It doesn't matter how wildly popular. They're hell-bent on putting him in prison. Now, with him saying that he's going to put them in prison, they have even more of a motive, okay, to do so, to stay out of prison. But this is the dark cartoon we live in. You know, on my other show, I was talking to Christina Bobb yesterday and wrote a book on stealing your vote, talking about the 2020 elections and the naivety of all of these people that don't think Donald Trump is going to jail or that these cases will even be brought. All of them are going to be brought. They're not getting thrown out. Like, what la-la land are you in? It's not going to be less trials. It's going to be more trials. They're trying to indict him further. And like, I've got to sit here with this person, and they seem well-meaning, but they're like, they're going to try, and this is going to get thrown. No, it's not getting thrown out. These people are lawless. Yes, the charges are bunk. It doesn't matter. Like, do you not understand? I guess they don't. And I don't know whether that's like a grift to keep making money and being on like the conservative circuit where you're a Trump person and you're getting all these accolades, and it's so obvious that they're just going to throw over. No. It's just like they weren't going to change the venue. They weren't going to postpone the trials. They're fast-tracking these. Fast-tracking them. Meanwhile, they're covering up for Biden and his son, and they're slow-walking any type of trial in those cases. That will be completely and totally fixed and limited in scope. So I listened to this chat with Donnie T and Glenn Beck, and I'm just like, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. Get ready to go to prison. And this idea that he can run from prison, I get it. I get that's a thing. But they're going to change that thing. They've already changed so much. Look what they did after the fact with the vice presidency and Pence and daring to send the votes or the electorate back to count the votes and audit the system. We're in the post-truth world. All right, let's play this clip.
I have to tell you, I don't know how you do it every day. I really don't. I would have lost my mind a long time ago. You said in 2016, lock her up. And then when you became president, you said, we don't do that in America. That's just not the right thing to do. That's what they're doing. Do you regret not locking her up? And if you're president again, will you lock people up?
Well, I'll give you an example. The answer is you have no choice because they're doing it to us. I always had such great respect for the office of the president, the presidency, but the office of the president, and I never hit Biden as hard as I could have. And then I heard he was trying to indict me, and it was him that was doing it. You know, I don't think he's sharp enough to think about much, but he was there.
He's not. I mean, it's not funny. He's not sharp enough to think about quote-unquote much. He's not in control. We're in a bad spot. We're in a really, really bad spot.
And he was probably the one giving the order, but he was, hard to believe that he even thinks about that because he's gone. But then I said, well, they're actually trying to indict me because every one of these indictments is him, including Bragg. Bragg put his top people. I don't know if you know this. He put his top person into the office of the Manhattan District Attorney. They've been in total coordination with Fannie Willis. The woman that I never met that they accused me of rape, that's being run by a Democrat operative and paid for by the Democrat Party. So many of these things. I have a couple of other lawsuits, all funded against me by the Democrat Party. These are sick people. These are evil people. And it's an amazing thing. We talk about the public. The public is smarter than anyone can imagine because they understand what's happening. It's really actually driven. I was doing very well before this stuff, but it's really driven my poll numbers up. And you look at these, that basically they're saying, I don't have a right to challenge an election. Thank you, and we're going to make America great again.
Yeah, I don't know about this. We're making America great again. I think it's extremely naive to believe that this guy even gets the nomination. I think they're putting him in jail. They're putting him in jail. And it doesn't matter whether or not these are crimes. Again, they're not even really charging him with traditional crimes in the D.C. case. The January 6th show trials were anything but actual trials. So to me, I don't understand where these pundits are coming from. I really just don't. I have seen, a lot of people knocking the Republican debates without Trump and saying everybody was like a child on stage. Look, not true also. Ramaswamy literally devastated these people. He devastated everybody else on the stage. You can hate him, like him, love him, doesn't really matter. He made everybody else look terrible. Like if you were in an American living room or you were down having a drink at the American Legion, you were watching that, and you thought anybody but Ramaswamy did well up there. I don't know what to say to you. They definitely tried to push Nikki Haley on you. They definitely tried to push Mike Pence on you. That part's real. That's not fake. But Ramaswamy cleaned up. And, I have the entire CNN clip, which I think we'll do in the final segment here. We'll go to that and, play that because he devastated them on the climate change agenda there, too. I know I'm getting a lot of flack, but I still haven't gotten all those emails I was promised telling me how bad Ramaswamy was, showing me why I should be completely skeptical of him. And believe me, I am already completely skeptical of him. I'm not sitting here trying to ride the dog and pony show, okay? That's not it. In fact, if I can find this Joe Hoft premium, I think that we should play that because Joe Hoft and I had a great conversation about the 2020 election and beyond. And look, they're not perfect over the Gateway Pundit, but they do a lot of great work. So here is a piece of my conversation with Joe Hoft. This is part of the premium, redvoicemedia.com. /uncensored, redvoicemedia.com/uncensored. Try it out for $1 for the first week, $10 a month, or lock it in for $100 for the year. Support the broadcast and get great premium content like this.
What's kind of the vibe internationally where you work for Trump?
Well, it was horrible. All these people don't understand. Joe's a good guy. How can he like Trump? The media's CNN's telling us he's a monster.
Okay.
And so the damage that our media has done internationally to our reputation is
insurmountable.
It's incomprehensible. And so our reputation's been crushed by these guys. Trump was a great president, as we know. And so then. Anyways, in 2020, I get doxxed. I come back to the States, retire from that position, and started working full-time with Jim at the Gateway Pundit. And so after 5-6 years, just sending an article a day, I started sending more. Then the 2020 election came, kaboom, this thing was a mess. And here's Joe with this unique background in auditing, able to look at stuff and really analyze it as I would as an auditor, and we can see this election was absolutely stolen, right? So anyways, that's what I've done. I've written 3 books on the election. My last one here just came out. It's been #1 bestseller at Amazon in a couple categories, virtually since its first day, and it's doing really well. People are buying that and my first 2 books, and that's what I really expect to get into here. Is my first book was setting the stage, and it was about the planning that went into this. This wasn't just something that just happened on election day. These guys planned it. I outlined that.
They've had the infrastructure for a very long time. And in my belief, and this is just my opinion, no one sue me, but my belief is they tried to take it from them in 2016, old-fashioned style, with the machines, with the fractional voting and the proprietary software. They got the algorithm wrong because he was just so wildly popular. And then in 2020, they realized that wouldn't be enough. They need another avenue. And in comes the mail-in ballots and the unaccountability.
That's what they needed, absolutely. And so anyways, they stole it. And the second book is where I outline all that. All the impossible occurs. And really, and here's the 3 things I hope to be able to get to share. I only got 15 minutes there. Is this. In the corporate world, when you sign off on financials, management provides them to the auditor. The auditor comes in, they look at systems, and I'm telling you, they drill into these systems like you can't believe, looking for little glitches, anything. If there is, it's got to be fixed.
Sure.
Security issues would be huge. They also look at the support for the numbers. Do you have the invoices that support these numbers, sales, etc.? And then the third thing is you've got to have processes in place that work. And if there's any gaps in those processes, since Sarbanes-Oxley, then you've got to fix them, and those are tested every year now. Lots of work into these. Now compare that to our 2020 election. Systems they wouldn't even let us look at. The one report that comes out of the government entity CISA before they release the Haldeman report says that the systems are not secure. Bad actors could sneak in and steal an election. That's from the government. That was my chapter on the systems. I don't need to write much more. This is a qualified source, according to the liberals, and that's what they say. So the systems were broke. On the other hand, support in Georgia, they got 140,000 ballots there that they still can't look at, still hung up in the courts with Carlin Favorito, and so they won't even show us support.
There are no audits. There are no legitimate audits, and this is the big issue.
Absolutely.
Paper ballots, if we can audit them. No mail-in ballots. Voter ID. We don't get rid of, absentee ballots, but it's the old school absentee ballot, not where we're ballot harvesting or we're just mailing it in. You got to go to the post office. You got to go through the issues, and it's a minimal thing. In fact, we've lived in a system where absentee ballots were kind of almost discarded, even at a very close rate, because they were so minimal, and that's
right.
purposeful.
And then in 2020, they just blew that out of proportion.
Get the whole story on Red Voice Media Premium using the link below, completely uncensored and ad-free.
All right, we're about to go to another break. I do want to remind people, redvoicemedia.com/uncensored is how you watch that entire interview with Joe Hoft. We got Richard Bartlett over there. We got Gerald from Sons of Liberty, Paul Davis, Mindy Robinson. Really a great lineup. And you'll see some more of the stuff that I did over in Vegas in the second hour. In fact, the first hour is going to wrap up a little early because normally we got about 55 minutes in the second hour. It's about a 58-minute clip. So we'll ride over there about 56 or 57 after we come back from this break. We're going to play a little bit of the Ramaswamy CNN clip in full, the one where he just wrecks her on climate change. And yes, Ramaswamy is the big pharma guy. Yes, Ramaswamy is the Soros guy. Yes, he's got some financial dealings on the backdrop that make me nervous. At the same time, every time I hear him talk, he's very articulate, he's very smart, and he seems to be very freedom-orientated. Back after this word from our sponsor.
Attention Americans, breaking news. Biden's dangerous plan for a digital dollar is underway. Don't be fooled. It won't benefit you. Take action now. The Federal Reserve phased deployment of FedNow began on July 1st, 2023. Be prepared. This may catch many off guard. Your hard-earned assets are in jeopardy. But there's a simple legal tax loophole to opt out of the digital dollar. Reach out to American Alternative Assets for a free wealth protection guide and discover how to safeguard your wealth with gold and silver IRAs against a failing dollar and volatile markets. Visit protectfrombiden.com. This invaluable guide provides precise steps to transfer your IRA or 401k into precious metals without any tax consequences. Be smart. Don't let Biden force you into using the government's new digital dollar. Visit protectfrombiden.com to get your free guide and get started. Again, that's protectfrombiden.com.
All right, final segment of the first hour. Reminder, the second hour is over at rvmrumble.com. That is rvmrumble.com. See, it's scrolling right past me. Go check it out over at rvmrumble.com. And it is Wednesday. That means you won't find it anywhere else but over at Rumble, as I have to do some recording right after this for the other program. Look, I see so many people saying, oh, Vivek is a plant. And, Sam Husseini, who I respect, everybody's a plant. And I've had other people say they're going to put Trump back in there to finish the job, to ruin the country. And I don't believe that either. I believe a lot of it is a show. But at the same time, there are real fights on the inside. There are real differences. These are real people. And there is, some semblance of a difference. And by the way, I don't think they want Trump in there at all. And the idea that they would want Trump in there to just, end the country, I don't see that either. I think they're pretty happy with the poopy pants zombie puppet they got in there. And they're pretty happy with the media that would attack a guy like Ramaswamy for literally just telling basic truth. Okay, so here he is over at CNN.
Joining me now is 2024 presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, sir. I want to start with what I began the program with, which is this racist shooter killing 3 black people in Jacksonville yesterday. What is your reaction to the shooting?
It is such a tragedy, and my heart goes out to those families. This should not be happening in the United States of America, and it is wrong.
By the way, again, Chuck Todd brought up the same thing. Same exact one. Why aren't they talking about the black man in Pennsylvania that said he was a sovereign citizen that just started lighting everybody up outside? What? No, they always... Look at the dead eyes on that woman. God, she's got such a alien-like, crazed look in her face.
The reality is we have a mental health epidemic in this country. There are reports that this particular individual, the perpetrator, was indeed evaluated for mental health deficiencies as well. And I think we need to have the courage in this country to bring back a practice of putting back psychiatrically ill people who pose a risk to their communities into psychiatric institutions, not just drugging them up, but faith-based approaches and other approaches that fill our longing for purpose and meaning in this country. I think it is just a shame that we even have mass shootings like this, be it the one that happened in Florida, be it the recent one, the Nashville shooter in a Christian school, killing 6 in a school. We have to address that mental health epidemic, and we need leaders with the courage to do it. But my heart goes out to those families.
Good luck. Pfizer advertises here, guy. Don't you understand? We love SSRIs over at CNN. We love them. And look at the look of disgust on the CNN woman's face. It's just how dare you bring up mental health and shooting? How dare you?
And I hope something like this never happens again.
Mental health is one aspect of these shootings, and apparently, and we're still learning a lot about what happened. The facts are still coming out. Also, this was very much apparently racially.
Racism is a mental health issue. I talked about it yesterday. If you have a dislike, a disdain, a hatred in your heart for somebody because of the color of their skin, you are in fact mentally ill. And notice she stutters, she stammers, she wants so badly to get in the talking points that are on the agenda. She's another extremely unimpressive human being that they have jolted to the forefront and given her this presence of authoritativeness. She's on an authoritative network.
Motivated. The sheriff there said point blank that this shooter had manifestos coming, 3 manifestos, and said specifically that he went to this dollar store with the intent of killing black people.
I think that is heinous and deserves to be called out for what it is. The reality is we've created such a racialized culture in this country in the last several years that right as the last few burning embers of racism were burning out, we have a culture in this country largely created by media and establishment and universities and politicians that throw kerosene on that racism. And I can think of no better way to fuel racism in this country than to take something away from other people on the basis of their skin color.
And Ramaswamy's doing a great job here. You know, I'm looking in the comments, and people are talking about Dr. Shiva Adara. I've interviewed Shiva before. I'm going to interview him again. In fact, just before I left for Vegas, I was in touch with the person that runs his Twitter. They were supposed to email me. I don't know if I've even seen that email. It could be in my spam with dates and times, but I'll be honest about Shiva. Although I like his message, I don't think he has a shot in hell of getting a nomination from anywhere, let alone actually being on the ballot in most states or being able to be elected president. The other thing about Shiva, to me, that's a little disconcerting, is the fact that he just goes out and attacks everybody. I mean, he was attacking RFK Jr. during the COVID-19 84 nightmare. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be pointing out where there are failures. And there are certainly failures with every single one of these candidates. Trump, RFK Jr., Ramaswamy, you name it. And I'm sure there are problems with Shiva. But, you know, we're going to have him on, and we're going to talk to him. And it's probably not going to be on the YouTube forum, because we can't do it on the YouTube forum. Because, again, it's such a large censorship platform. In fact, you know, yesterday's ad, I'm going to double up on a different ad, you know, on the pillow ad today. Because yesterday's, I still have to take that down. Like, I could get thrown off of YouTube for that. And I'm not trying to self-censor. In fact, that's what the second hour is for. That's what the premium is for. So they don't have to dance around pins and needles to try to bring people over from YouTube to an alternative platform. Again, this isn't the Jimmy Dore show. If it were the Jimmy Dore show, I could just be Jason Bermas. Because Jimmy Dore is saying things that Jason Bermas was saying 3 years ago. Just want to point that out.
I've been saying that for years. And I think that is driving, sadly, a new wave of anti-black and anti-Hispanic racism.
Sir, I'm on CNN. Sir, that is not correct. Sir, I am on CNN.
This country. I think the right way forward is if we want to stop hate and discrimination on the basis of race, let's stop discriminating on the basis of race and see what unites us as Americans, because I do not think this kind of racial division and any division is good for us as the United States.
I believe that there are a lot of people of color in this country who don't think it was just lasting embers of racism, but that...
I'm glad you believe that. I would imagine, don't really know a lot of people of color in your personal life, because you're a vapid, self-serving, social climbing, unimpressive loser they put on TV to parrot an agenda. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're going to Diversity City after all this.
a lot more work had to be done, particularly given the history of the systemic racism in this country with slavery.
Everything's systemic. Oh, the history of slavery in this country. How about the history of slavery in the world? In the world. Not just this country, in the world. And the fact that you got supposed quote-unquote educators out there trying to equate what? The Gadsden flag with that. All right, so here's the deal. I am going to play a commercial, and then my producer is going to go immediately over to RVMRumble.com. That's RVMRumble.com for the second hour, and play these 3 great interviews we did over in Vegas for free. If you want to support the broadcast, redvoicemedia.com/uncensored to watch 6 more of those interviews from Vegas. You know, again, I'm not going to Vegas to grandstand. I'm not going there to high five. I'm not going there to get awards. I'm going there to talk to people and hopefully educate them about transhumanism. So after this break, after this pillow break, again, RVMRumble.com, or go to Red Voice Media where they run the stream, and go check out that second hour.
When I invented My Pillow, my passion was to help each and every one of you. And 20 years later, all of your support is what keeps us going. Because of you, we've been able to create thousands of USA jobs and help millions get the best sleep ever. To thank you, my employees and I are bringing you a limited edition My Pillow. The Giza Elegance My Pillow is made with my patented adjustable fill, the most amazing cotton, and a 2-inch pipe gusset. It has 4 custom loft levels, machine washable and dryable, and you get my 60-day money-back guarantee and 10-year warranty.
Go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get your limited edition 20th anniversary My Pillow queen size. Retails for $69.98, now only $19.98. That's right, get a queen size My Pillow for only $19.98.
From all of us here at